Sledgelords. Danny and Adam back in the building.
Back in the building. It was an ordeal for me to get into the building, by the way.
Why? What happened?
I got wanded.
Oh, they wanted you? They searched you?
This is a different kind of podcast.
Yeah. I mean, there's two different mentalities you can have. You can either just let everybody bring their guns in and just act like it's not happening, or you could check everybody and be like, yo, can you please leave your gun in the trunk?
Yeah. It's for everybody's safety, your staff most of all.
Yeah.
You're willing to take the risk, but one of the lovely ladies out there is doing data input. Doesn't need to risk it.
I mean, what are the odds of a gun going off?
High.
I could definitely imagine this being used in court one day.
Look
at him laughing. Why is he laughing? He doesn't care about his employees' safety. No, I mean, I don't know. It is kind of weird because it's like if somebody wants to get it in enough, they're just going to do it.
They're going to find
they're
a
going
way.
to figure out a way.
They're going to find some ruse where they like whatever they fucking put on a Papa John's hat, grab a pizza pie, come in the front door. I wonder though, like, you think that there's a very successful bluegrass podcast going on in Nashville? They're wanding people at the door.
Well, you know, I noticed when I was in Nashville and I was going to the Dollywood theme park and the Dolly Parton Stampede and all these other Dolly Parton related things that my girl made me go to. It was one of the weirder weeks of my life. But I noticed that
huge tits,
huge
brand.
cans,
yeah,
wrinkly old pussy. Anyway, they had a lot of signs outside of the venues that would make it clear no firearms allowed in here. So yeah, maybe you can carry a gun everywhere else, but you can't bring it in and sit by this fucking dirty manure patch and watch these horses run back and forth while people do gymnastics on top of them. You can't have your gun on you for that.
You can't.
No.
Which is like, that's good. Because I felt like, am I racist for thinking that only hip hop has a no gun in building policy whenever you do anything with it? But no, apparently. Dolly Parton country music rodeo festivals have it too.
Well, you'd probably be hard pressed to think of another subculture that had a problem with more illicit guns. Like, I mean, you know, you could go like a gun convention, but I mean, probably most of the guns they have, they're like supposed to have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder what the shooting ratio is at a gun convention versus like, say, I don't know.
I would assume almost none. But I mean, there has to be exceptions. Because it's kind of like if you're into guns, you're into like gun safety.
Yeah, you are.
Because they're very dangerous. It's like, it's a weird hobby because everything else, like, you know, if you're into like, you know, I went to a guy's house one time and he had like $200,000 worth of glass bowls and like bongs and shit on his shelf. And that's just like a hobby that there's no, like, you just have it. If it breaks, whatever.
Yeah.
But then meanwhile, guns, you have to go to a special place and put glasses on, and headgear, just to fire a gun into like a wall of rocks. I'm sorry, this is fucking bullshit. Let me shoot the wall in my house.
Yeah. It's I get what you're saying. It's
Let
like,
me shoot my car.
Yeah, like, but they do it because like half the country is trying to take away their right to have fun with their gun at all times.
Right.
It's sort of like the only other people whose hobby is that encroached upon is like homosexuals.
Right.
Like the same.
No, 100%.
But they don't care about safety.
100%. Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I think it's just as fucked up when someone tells me that I'm not allowed to shoot at my neighbor's car as when somebody says, oh, you shouldn't be spreading AIDS to people on your fucking gay sex apps.
Yeah, it's fucking
That's their
horseshit,
right.
dude.
That's America.
And now we're hearing about monkeypox.
Oh,
just the government taking one step forward every day.
I feel like going to the nearest gay bar and just mashing my face into the crotches of all the feistiest homosexuals in the bar, just in a quest to obtain monkeypox, just so that I could say, look, I survived. We exist.
Post monkeypox. I'm curious though, you said feistiest. How do you peg down the feistiest gay dude in the gay bar?
I have a mental algorithm that sort of, you know, is going to rate like, you know, who has the shiniest leather on, who has the most chest hair.
You're so analytical.
Who seems like they've consumed the most meth throughout the evening. These are all factors that I've put into place when I'm considering feisty gays.
That the meth does make you feisty.
Right.
My girlfriend was telling me because my girlfriend had a gay roommate and they would go out in West Hollywood all the time. And this guy, he's a little bit flimsy with his gayness. Sometimes it would be cause for concern. For instance, my girlfriend's friend Meredith went over to their house once and she's got big fake tits.
Meredith Brooks?
Nah.
Okay.
Who's that?
Singer. You see that song, Bitch?
Did she open for Dolly Parton?
Anyway,
with the gay guy, he's all over this chick's fake titties. Like, oh my God, how much did these cost? They're so perky.
Right.
Which he might be, I don't know if you saw the third Harold and Kumar, but in that movie, Neil Patrick Harris reveals that he went gay just to get more pussy.
I'm just picturing a gay dude like just playing with my girl's titties, and I'm supposed to just accept it because he's gay. That's a real test of how gay you think he is.
And a test of your self-control, too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a temptation just to let fly with your closed fist.
Yeah.
This guy, though, him and my girlfriend went out to a bar, and there's literally a best cock contest in the bar.
Uh-huh.
Everybody anonymously submits pictures of their penises.
Now you're speaking my language. I love this.
I think we should get an office pool going in here.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Everybody in the office, photograph your dick and or vagina.
Starting with Josh. I want to see his.
Josh, you go first.
Listen.
Really, I might forget about the whole thing after Josh. Just be like, all right, we got it.
It'll be fucking great.
We got it.
It'll be great. But everybody anonymously submits their cock pic, and the only person who knows which name is attached to the cock is the MC who's up there doing the announcing and running the contest. By, I don't know, round of applause, just general pandemonium in the bar, they throw up every cock on a big screen and then rate the response. And then they, at the end, when they've determined a winner, they bring the winner up on stage, and everybody tries to fuck him.
Everyone tries to fuck him, and it's in a gay bar, so it's gay men trying to fuck you.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I'm not feeling that. I'm down for the dick rating part. Like, I would like to have a room full of men or women talking and commenting on my penis. That I'm down with.
You thought I was talking about The Office.
I'm not down for it to be dudes. No, oh, you want to do that with The Office?
I was thinking so.
Well, I mean, one thing I was thinking about in The Office, there was the episode where they have an office weight loss competition.
Yeah.
And they use like an industrial strength like thing that they all stand on, so they all have to lose weight together. And I kind of think that might be good for The Office. It takes away the individual impetus, and it places the blame on the collective.
I'm trying to think, though, how, like, if we determine that everybody stands on this thing with their pants down, and some people, like me and Josh, are embarrassing The Office, what can we do about it?
I would suggest that we do a displacement test where we could have some kind of jar of water, and then Josh or whoever, maybe Josh.
Primarily me and Josh.
Yeah, you and Josh. You
but
just
mostly
walk up,
Josh.
You place your dick and balls, because I think your balls need to be part of your dick measurement.
I'm going to win.
Because anyone I'm having sex with them in the new year, I'm trying to put my balls in their pussy or ass.
It's called the booyah.
Right, booyah. So I'm going to fucking do that. And then we're going to basically see who displaces the most. Because I think it needs to be fair. If Donnie or Trev has gigantic nuts, I think that they deserve to be credited for that.
Listen, dude, I'm going to take part in that. And if it's all that goes up on the scoreboard at the office Christmas party is the volume displaced,
right?
All the little cuties who work in the cubicles out there are going to be like, oh my God, I'm looking at this guy totally different now. And then, like, I'm going to get liquored up. I'm going to cheat on my girlfriend. And at the motel, you're going to hear a sigh from the employee of yours that could be heard from space.
You know what I think I deserve some credit for?
What?
As of yet, it seems that we have mostly assembled a workforce here at No Jumper of people who are not intent on sleeping with each other.
That is a monumental task.
Because people are horny.
And everybody out there, like all the fucking underlings are like 18 to 23. There are some cute girls in the mix, and there are a bunch of dudes out there who look like they have dark things on their minds.
Yeah.
And if nobody's fucking, are you sure nobody's fucking? There are a lot of cameras around here.
I mean, anything could happen, but it does not appear to me.
I don't know how tuned in you are. I feel like you might be.
I probably wouldn't know.
You might be. You have so much fucking sex. I mean, it's almost all of your life that I think you're just oblivious to anybody doing. You're desensitized, dude.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I showed you a picture. You and I have done 3 podcast episodes together, and I showed you a video of me getting blown last week, and you didn't even bat an eyelash.
No, that's nothing to me.
You wouldn't notice if one of these scumbags out there is feeling up Sydney on the keyboard.
Would I notice? Of course I would notice. If any of them were standing next to her, I would notice. Well, I can't be there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, of course you'd be like, hey, Adam. Ooh. Yeah, you would notice that. I'm talking about, like, if Sydney was, like, moping around one day and one of the young kids had his chest puffed out and was, like, taking victory laps. You wouldn't catch on to stuff like that.
What? Wait, why does he have his chest puffed out?
Because he grabbed some titty.
Oh, come on. That would never happen.
You don't think young men gloat?
No,
that's
not these young men. The men I'm raising here at No Jumper, the boys. I actually am attracted to that idea. I would like this to be less of an office and more of an orphanage. Yeah, and I would like to have any man who chooses to work here basically becomes my son.
Yeah. And I think you need to have a fat chick with a bonnet who's sort of like the maiden who runs everything. Like, oh, Tony, keep your hands off the ladies. They have every right to get the job done just like you do.
I think we should have a trough. Like what pigs eat out of, and the fat lady
with an orphanage.
But what, I think it would add to the ambiance of the orphanage to basically have like a really dirty trough and to have this fat blob of a woman with an apron
and a rolling pin.
She's like almost bald and she's wearing the fucking shower cap style hairnet. So that, and she just serves like slop into a dish.
And she hits the kids.
Yeah.
Like if they show up late, she just whacks them in the face.
Really? And I could see this building being more of a cult and less of a business. You know, like if I put them all on a diet that like only allows them so many calories so that they're not really able to expand more energy, they won't go out at night.
Yeah,
they're not allowed to go at night.
A couple of people have slipped through the low-calorie diet part of the plan.
Right. I think also I'm going to start forcing a religion, some religion, I'm not sure what one yet, on all the employees as well.
We should just spin a bottle.
Just conform. Just to make them conform seems like a good goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, all the religions basically they all teach the same shit, except for like
taste the same.
They all taste the same, dude.
The priest
I mean, have you ever eaten a Muslim pussy, dude? Identical to Jews.
No, I have sucked Muslim cleric dick. I have performed fellatio on many priests throughout my life. I feel nothing.
Too willingly.
Yeah.
Most of them not.
No, I was definitely molested in church as a kid.
Did you have a nice Catholic upbringing?
I went to a non-denominational Protestant church. So non-denominational, no denomination. Seems totally pointless to me. Basically, people who don't have a coherent worldview. And because that's what I least like about the Catholic shit is like, yes, this is obviously a total load of bullshit, but at least you seem committed to it. Whereas the church I went to, it was just a bunch of love. Everybody love each other, more love. It's all about love. It's just like, this means nothing. Even when I was a kid, I'm like, you're not making an argument. This is stupid.
What does non-denominational mean?
No denomination. The denomination would be like Catholic or Protestant or whatever. So,
but what you just used the word in the definition. You're confusing me here, motherfucker. What is non-denominational?
The denomination is like the style of church. Or the style of like religion, I guess, right?
Well, you still got like a Bible and shit. Like you can't.
Yeah, you still got a Bible.
Like so, you couldn't like cover.
I think Mormonism would be a denomination of Christianity, right?
I don't know. Mormonism, I've been to that Salt Lake City, and whatever they're doing, I don't think they're keeping their women under control.
Actually, I guess you're right. That's not really like Christianity, is it?
It is, actually. Mormons believe in Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have some questionable views about black people. They think like everything happened in North America or something.
Right.
It's like weird Christianity.
Right.
And all the old dudes, it's sort of like Catholicism, but straight.
It's like Christianity if it was a Mad Lib. Like if like 20% of the book, you just start like filling in random nouns and like
And then Joseph Smith came to a clearing in the woods and he grabbed the shovel and he found some plates that had the word of God written on them.
That's why I respect Mormonism, is because if you believe in that shit, then I can really 100% say that you're a moron. And I like that, you know? Like I just, because you don't get that. Like there are smart people in a lot of the other world's religions. I just don't think Mormonism is one that really allows for you to have much of a thought going on upstairs.
I mean, Mormonism is confined to like Utah.
Right.
Like if you're a Mormon, you're in Utah, and we have to ask ourselves, what's the last good thing that came out of Utah?
I feel bad saying all this now because I just remember that I'm still trying to interview Roman Atwood, and he is Mormon.
He's a practicing Mormon?
He now has 3 wives.
What are the Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I am not. And there's a clip on Logan Paul's podcast where he talks about this, and I just want to say that perhaps Roman Atwood could tell me something about Mormonism that would make me respect it more, but from what I've seen up to this point in my life, I'm not really going for it.
And I like it too, because like usually when you and I we start digging into a subject, you kind of feel the pain in your gut that signals like, what if a higher up at YouTube is watching this segment right now? We got to watch our mouths. But when we talk about Mormonism, I mean, you can fucking let loose. I mean, you can say anything you want about those filthy Salt Lake dwelling, covered wagon pioneering fuckos.
Right.
I mean, those
dry-dicked,
lizard worshipping,
just doing anal because they're too scared to use their pussies.
Soaking.
It's unbelievable, dude.
The story about the energy drink blowjob, where I saw the girl, she was getting mad energy drinks, Salt Lake City.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I went there too, and it was the most violent. I mean, you were talking about shootings maybe happening in this building. You want to know a subculture that has a lot of violence in it? Mormonism,
Why?
dude.
What were they doing?
So I was out there for my buddy Justin Buckles, who was a UFC veteran. He had an MMA fight in a little show. The MMA world's pretty tragic. Most careers are rainbow shaped.
I know, right?
You go up, You're in the UFC for 2 or 3 fights, boom, right back to the fair shows.
You just go and go and go until you figure out who can beat your ass, and then it's all over.
It's all over. And then
you can work your ass off to get better. But realistically, I mean, there's a pretty good chance it's just not going to work, right?
It's not going to work. And then what is it about? Like, you get knocked out once, and then it seems like your chin abandons you.
Is that how it works? Is that, like, real? Or I thought that was kind of anecdotal.
It might be in people's head.
Right.
It's hard to know. But I have no problem believing it is mental. Like if I get knocked out clean and I'm out for 15 minutes and they take me out on a stretcher,
right,
the next time I'm squared up with a guy who looks like you and you're throwing haymakers at my face,
right,
I'm going to have a little bit of doubt.
At this point in my life, it's just so obvious to me that any sport where there's that good of a chance of you getting a head injury is not worth doing.
Not worth doing.
And I really feel that way about bike riding as a kid, too. Like, it's just like, knowing what I know now, I would be like, unless you're going to wear a helmet, which I realistically probably wasn't going to do. It's just, I don't think so.
Dude, I used to bomb hills in SF drunk on my regular skateboard. Yeah. But just to finish up the story really quickly, dude, the fucking fight afterwards is when the real fight starts.
Oh, right. Yeah, I heard about this.
We go to a cowboy bar, dude, and it's just pandemonium. Just brawls, chicks being sluts, and everybody identifies as LDS, Latter-day Saints.
Really?
Yeah, my buddy who lost the fight, whose face, he got destroyed by this guy named Clay Collard. His face is swollen out to where my hands are.
Right.
All purple. Somebody had to give him an Oxycontin because he didn't have any medical insurance. That was all they could do for him.
I'm going to use that insurance, that excuse.
Yeah.
Adam, why are you popping oxys at the show?
Medical insurance,
no
bro.
Insurance.
What are you talking about?
I had to.
All the money goes back in the no jumper, bitch. But he was making out with a Sunday school teacher.
Okay.
And he might have, who knows, sodomized her?
Really?
And fisted her that night? We don't know. We can't say
we
for
don't
sure.
know, so you're not basing this on anything? Right. No, I mean, I've fucked a bunch of fucking different Mormon girls out there, and they all had the same story about their parents brought them up into it, and then at a certain point, they just smartened up and started going to metal bars and hooking up with guys like me, which I guess is better.
We were talking about leather, and I know you wanted to cover some current events on this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep it a little topical.
This all came from us talking about leather and how festive gays or something. Yeah. Zesty gays.
You know what? You got a very diverse cast of employees out here. You need to hire a leather gay, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You need to hire a big 58-year-old dude with a beard and a Harley.
Let's hire a gimp.
Just a guy who wears the gimp suit all day, and his name's just Gimp.
But he could do normal job tasks, you know?
Like, I disagree. I think keep him locked in a box and just pay him $20 an hour.
No, but he could work, like, in the box, yeah.
What kind of work's he going to do in there?
Paperwork, whatever.
He's just got a little cubicle?
Yeah.
A box-sized cubicle?
Like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he just like sleeps most of the day. And if anybody's like, excuse me, is Gimpy in there? We really need these files scanned.
He better not sleep. He can sleep when we're not here.
I was thinking you could just take your shades off slowly and be like, Gimpy sleeping.
I want to keep him like a naughty dog and just smack him around, kick him, mace him.
You know, in this very litigious society we live in, there's going to be some hula hoops we got to jump through.
But he's going to have to sign off on this. Like, I mean... I would really worry more about the other employees. Like, is it going to create a hostile work environment if they have to be faced with a Gimp on a daily basis?
Well, the Gimp is pretty, you know, I don't know much about BDSM, but he seems like a passive character.
Right.
It seems like you fuck the Gimp more than the Gimp fucks you.
No, the Gimp has to be on board. That's one thing I learned from the Armie Hammer thing.
I watched that.
You did?
My girlfriend and I just started watching the first episode.
Okay. Well, honestly, that's all you need because the second 2 episodes are about his family's history and how fucked up they were, and it's really not that essential to understanding the whole thing.
Do they talk about Gimps, though?
No, but
I love Gimps.
But
dude.
The main thing that I got from watching it is that Armie Hammer had a very different view of BDSM, and still, I don't feel like the documentary did a great job at really expanding upon exactly what he was doing to these people, but the person has to very much be on board, and he was kind of like springing it on people.
Yeah, so Armie Hammer, Facebook dude, one chick in the documentary, the most damning accusation, a girl who chose not to participate. They used her social media like revelation she posted where she said that he straight up raped her.
Right.
Like she said no and he still tied her up and banged her, which is fucking terrifying. Like imagine being tied up and fucked against your will.
But it does seem kind of weird that there's so many accusations about the BDSM thing, and then that girl's the only one who said they raped her, right?
Yes, and the girl one of the chicks, the main chick, who's like pretty hot but pretty fake.
But the one who
the red,
the one who wouldn't go into any detail about what he allegedly did to her.
and she really made it sound like he took a shit on her chest.
It sounded so bad.
Is that what you thought too?
I was thinking it's got to be. It has to be something so weird or so gross that she didn't even want to say it.
Yes.
Which that makes me feel like it's some crazy ass shit. But we don't know how squeamish she is.
She could have gotten a little bit of pee-pee on her thigh in the shower and been like, and cried for 2 days.
Isn't it crazy though that Armie Hammer is now working at a fucking timeshare rental spot?
You mentioned that. You're really, it seems like to you, because again, you're so desensitized from putting your penis in so many holes, you don't even care that he was tying girls up in Joshua Tree. You're just like, dude, this guy's selling timeshares.
Well, I know. Maybe we could check it out. No, but the thing that I think is incredible is that the hotel is protecting him. The media is reaching out and trying to, ask questions about like, why are you letting this guy work at your business, whatever, and he just won't. They won't. They're protecting him. So he has some level of prestige in the world that at least he has that going for him.
What is he doing? Is he just fucking maids down there? Like,
Right.
Like, why would he? He's got unlimited cash. Like, if he wanted to feel productive, why wouldn't he just take up watercolor painting?
What could he do? Where do you
Start
go?
a podcast, dude.
Yeah, he could.
He could start a podcast. It might get.
He could join Sledgelords.
He could be our third mic. I think he's gonna have those sheltered Hollywood types don't have much personality, so I think we start him out slow.
Right.
Maybe you know what? I think he works his way up from Gimp.
Well, you already, he must start his.
He's on the office Gimp, dude. How the tables have turned.
You already
Mr.
have
Hammer.
a himbo in your life. Don't you think Leo would be kind of challenged, like somebody with better facial proportions than him?
Leo, too.
Although has slightly worse Google search results.
That'd be Leo. Slightly worse. That'd be Leo's one thing. It's like,
But that's what's funny is if you search up Leo on fucking Google, you would be fooled if you didn't actually click through any of the articles of thinking he did something fucked up too.
Yeah, because his biggest, it used to be that he was inappropriately texting girls would be the front page thing.
Right.
But then thanks to me, there was a certain alleged
the fat katana,
Yeah, the fat katana. And that, like, because my name has no cachet in the mainstream media, just Leo the Tavio plastered all over Google when you search him now. Leo the Tavio goes on a vile, disgusting rant about dissecting fat women.
Right.
It was me.
I don't see what's so foul about that.
Yeah, we talked about this last time. It was so clearly a joke, and it was, dude, fucking.
I can't wait till somebody tries to be like, cancel Danny because he did this. But I love when people bring that up to me because then as soon as somebody tells me, oh, how could you be friends with this person? He made this offensive joke this one time. It's so easy because then you're just like, oh, so you think people who make offensive jokes should be canceled, should be removed from public life? And they'll always be like, no, I don't think that. I'm like, so you think that this one accusation is enough for me to not fuck with them?
Yeah.
And they just immediately start backpedaling. And it's very useful to point out to them, like, it feels like you're not being fair because I know that you listen to this rapper and you're a fan of this designer and et cetera, and they've had accusations that are way worse than whatever you're trying to put on me right now.
Yeah.
So in that way, this doesn't seem like it's actually a coherent worldview on your part. It would appear to me that you're really just picking and choosing because you want to get this point across.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the people who are really, like, they lead with their, I'm offended by this guy, why do you hang out with him? You have to wonder, like, what darkness they're trying to hide from your eyes.
Right.
Like, it's completely, like they're shielding their own shit. Like, when I hear fucking people going on Twitter, just Twitter tirades like, fuck this guy, Ron DeSantis is racist, anybody who voted for Donald Trump is a Nazi. I just wonder, like, whose titty did you grab in 2016 near the water cooler at your office job?
Yeah.
Whose titty did you grab and who are you petrified about finding out about
But
this?
I think that calling Trump racist was like the whole left strategy against him in the lead up to the election, and it feels like that is so powerless at this point that nobody even bothers to try to make that accusation. Whereas I feel like if you were to go back to like 2016, you were to watch footage of people off the street saying why they did not want to vote for Trump, it would just be like a chorus of over and over and over, like, he's racist. He's sexist.
Yeah.
He's racist. He's sexist. Still to this day, a lot of people, if you were to go and have a conversation with them about whether they don't like Trump, they wouldn't be able to get too far past that.
Or he's mean.
Yeah, he's mean. He's a jerk.
Or like Elon Musk now, the same thing's going on.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk's people, like they hate him because like to be on the left, you kind of have to be a person who hates Elon,
Right.
but they don't know why they hate
But
Elon.
it's kind of amazing because, yeah, it's like you have to hate him because he's a billionaire, even though probably he's done more to advance something that is good for the environment than anybody else alive. I might be wrong, but I would think that at least of like public figures, nobody has taken more steps towards saving the environment than Elon Musk. And it's kind of amazing that really he only had to take some like very like soft stances to earn the ire of the left.
Yeah, and I Googled it because I was so confused. I first found out that people hated Elon when he went on SNL and some cast members were not appearing on that episode because of it. And I was like, whose pussy did this South African billionaire grab?
Right.
I Googled it. I Googled in why do people not like Elon? He supports cryptocurrency, bad for the environment. Like after what you just said, it seems like a bit of the one thing outweighs the other. You know, the popularization of electric cars. Number two, he didn't take COVID lockdown seriously.
Okay.
Because he reopened one of his factories. And I get maybe clinging to that argument on March 29th, 2020.
I'm like, I could see that argument would have done a little bit to sway my opinion of him. And when I say a little bit, I mean much less than 1%. In the time period in which it felt like COVID was this unstoppable, crazy beast that we didn't know anything about.
Yes.
At this point in time, no, I'm not going for that.
Yes. And since we've come to where we are now, it's pretty clear that obviously not the far right radicals were right. I'm not saying like fucking shoot horse testosterone into your asshole and fucking punch a Chinese guy in the nuts. I'm not saying that, but I'm like, it's pretty clear that people like Governor DeSantis were a little bit more on track with the actual risks of the situation,
I would say.
which were basically like if you're outdoors, you're probably not going to get it. If you're healthy and young, get your vaccine, be safe, but you can still go to work.
My girl was taking baby wipes and wiping off the Postmates bags once they were brought into my house.
Yeah, which is completely fine if it's March 2020.
Yeah, I guess she didn't do it for that long. But that was, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, if that's how I'm going to die, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the Postmates bags are going to give me COVID, then let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes I think about it too for like the jokes we make or I make. It's like, sometimes I worry like, fuck, I wonder if YouTube's going to be pissed about that. Like, wait a second. If YouTube comes after me for joking about fat chicks, I'm ready to die.
Right.
You know, I'm ready to go fucking be a mime in a traveling circus. I'll try a new approach to comedy. Number 3 reason they hate Elon Musk was because he tried to buy Twitter.
Right.
And because he was going to make hate speech the right to every Trump voter in America. And black people would be pushed off the internet for all times.
I had a great tweet that I was going to read from some lady saying some crazy shit about COVID, but I can't find it. No, but I agree. Yeah. 100%.
That was why.
Yeah.
And again,
he thought that he was going to ruin their little fucking party, their little Twitter party.
Yes.
He thought that he was going to come in and fuck everything up, and the fucking left focused on this nonstop for many, many months there, and now it's just like a non-conversation somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Him wanting to buy Twitter, you could tell, like, the truth of a situation is revealed often in the reaction to the situation.
Right.
And so if people have some ideas that Twitter might be biased toward the left wing, and when a dude comes in and says he's going to open up Twitter to free speech and only the left freaks the fuck out, that sort of validates the original accusation about being biased.
Right. No, I love anytime you see an article like today. I saw Taylor Lorenz post an article. It's basically about how YouTube isn't doing enough to protect vulnerable communities and women on YouTube. And I'm just like, you seriously think that YouTube needs more censorship?
Yeah.
Like, this is the fucking hill that you're down to die on?
Yeah.
You think we don't have enough?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, we're drowning in it, man.
And like, what are you talking about? If I look at the list of the top influencers on YouTube right now, all I'm going to see are women and minorities and some men. But I mean, dude, it is heavily skewed towards fucking chicks.
Dude, Andrew Tate got fucking banished from the entire internet for saying girls are dumb. What's going on? Whatever.
fucked, dude.
We can't. You know, I made a mistake the other day. I clicked on. I ran out of podcasts to listen to finally, right? So I'm like, fuck it. Let's see who Rogan's interviewed recently, and I clicked on him interviewing the Babylon Bee guy.
Really conservative right-wing publication.
And it was just like, it was like the most nothing 30 minutes of cancel culture conversation that I've ever heard in my life.
And now
the
we're
first 30 minutes.
We're
of that.
going down that road right now.
I just am I have my alert up for that. No, I don't think we fully got there. But that's just like something I'm scared of, just because, not because I disagree with it politically, because I do think that cancel culture is one of the scariest things that we're dealing with right now. But there's definitely like a thing that podcasters do sometimes where they just get into the groove of just repeating things that everybody knows are true about cancel culture and how social media is kind of fucked up. And I'm just like, be a little bit more self-aware. Realize what you're doing. I don't think you're doing it. I just found a nut in my mouth.
Speaking of cancellation, let's talk about the Leather Parade being canceled in San Francisco.
Yeah, tell me about that. How's that work?
Well, this might be of Josh's interest too.
No, Josh has a storied career in the GIMP community. That's a fact.
Josh, you put on a leather suit and got the shit beat out of you. So there's a leather festival, and a bunch of leather dudes, it's really the most interesting subgenre of gay. I mean, they go out of their way to dress like not just straight people, but people who look like they would beat the shit out of you for being gay.
Right.
It's so mind-bending.
To me, those are the only true gays.
Tell me.
I feel like the leather variety, that harkens back to the gay community that I love. When I was coming up, and I'm 5 years old, the year is 1988, I'm reading Newsweek, and they're talking about the gay community, and it's like their vision of them, they're not treating them like they're normal people. It's like, no, it's very obvious that they think that gay people just live to party and to just get butt naked in the bar and suck each other's dicks and stuff. And I was genuinely kind of scared. I thought that they all just wore leather all the time. I'm seeing the Village people. I'm thinking that this is the entire gay community, and I loved it. I'm like, I don't want to take part in it necessarily, but I think that that's great that this is a whole world out there. Now, at some point, they try to convince the gays that, no, you're like everybody else. You got to just have, you got to have kids. You got to be normal. You can't do meth. It's like the gay community that I grew up loving. Oh, we were doing meth.
They were doing meth. They were
doing
proud.
Meth, not
like
weed,
they put a mic in a guy's face, like, yeah, all right, Harley. I just like to change my muffler, put my fist up a man's asshole.
Now that's a gay guy.
Do a line of crystal meth off the seat of my hog. That's the kind of gay guy you like.
That was the era of gay that I liked.
Yeah, and like
when AIDS was totally out of control.
Absolutely.
It just felt like something real dangerous about it.
Absolutely. Like, and nowadays, like, women have a monopoly on walking down the street at night and feeling unsafe.
Right.
Like, I want you and I to have to be escorted by security to our cars after our, like, I want guys with big bicep tattoos, like, of anchors, to be watching us as we leave here.
I was watching, and this is, again, I'm maybe doing the cancel culture thing here, but I was watching a TikTok. Oh, and I think it was posted by Libs of TikTok, so this is even worse.
Oh, yeah.
But it was basically an extremely fat woman talking about how if fat people are talking and you are skinny, then you do not get to butt into this conversation. You are not allowed to have a voice in this conversation because, yes, fat people are a marginalized community and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just watching it and I'm like, it is so unbelievably obvious to me that at some point in your life, you watched like the Million Man March, or you saw Louis Farrakhan give a fucking speech or something, and you realized the same way that black people talk about themselves and deal with the actual injustices that have been perpetrated upon their people.
Yes.
You realized that it was well within your power. Like, this is an entrepreneurial venture that is almost hard to even fathom, but you realize that you could attempt to gain some of that same sympathy for just weighing 400 pounds and not being able to fit in a typical airline seat.
Yes.
I mean, that's honestly kind of amazing. When you look at white ingenuity,
it's
you have to look at that and just be amazed at this spectacle, because even white women trying to put themselves in the victim category and you see it constantly where it's like they just want to be treated this way as if they are, the Muslim trans woman who can actually claim that she's the victim of real oppression. It's incredible that white women have actually pulled this, actually attempt this, because I think the greater world is really like not okay with that anymore.
Yeah.
So I think the shelf life on that is probably pretty short.
Yeah. No, you're so right, and that's one of the things I said when we first got canceled for the Fat Chick Rant. I was like, these chicks, they want to be treated like they are minorities,
right?
And the thing is, skin color is something you can't change,
right?
Gender is something you can't change. But you were just really lazy, and now you want like a placard on your rear view mirror to help you get a better parking spot. And talking about the ingenuity, now with the pronoun stuff, like you don't even have to gain weight to be a victim.
You can just make up something that doesn't even necessarily mean that you have any out of the ordinary proclivity sexually wise. Like you get to claim queer. Like I don't even, if I were to put my dick in a man's ass, I would have earned the gay title.
Yeah. If you would have put on a leather vest and went into a pool hall in Oakland, California in the 60s,
that real shit.
You would be a fucking card-carrying homo.
And those are the kind of gays that I want to interact with on this podcast.
Me too, dude.
Yeah.
I would love to have a guy like that. But now, like, you can have just... Josh, when's the last time you had sex? Yesterday?
Yeah, right.
But still, he hasn't had sex today, which we could say he's asexual.
Right.
He's LGBTQ plus IA.
What are the fucking the mini pronouns or the micro pronouns? What the fuck is that?
Those are gnarly. I just found out what they meant.
Right.
I found that out really recently.
What that they, as in like somebody's pronoun being not specific to being he or her?
Yes. Like at first I thought, I was like, what, are there multiple of you? And I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Like, I don't get when it's he for the first one, then there's a slash, and then it's they.
Sometimes I'll be reading, wait, he/they?
That happens.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that one at all.
Yeah, that's confusing.
I'm not ready for the Z's or knee nims.
No,
I don't get those.
I'm going to be real with you. There's a BMX rider that is non-denominational. And
oh, he's a Protestant?
Whatever. And I snapped into saying they pretty easily.
Nice.
I was kind of amazed. I'm like, wow, I guess you've read Twitter long enough that you were able to just effortlessly use a pronoun. Listen, I don't think I've ever had a they in my life before.
And I got no problem with it at all. Like I'm sure you don't too. It's just like we're saying, just like the fat chicks who want to get their airline seat compensated and want to cancel United because they can't stop eating KFC.
Right.
If somebody's using pronouns just to get like favorable treatment at their job, that's bullshit. And those people who are just like, they don't feel satisfied in the world, so they just want to change something about their identity.
You know what I would love? I would love to have a conversation with a fat activist and ask them, how big do you think that the standard airline seat should be? Because can you imagine what they think is fair?
Yeah.
There's no, like a regular airline seat really, like if you buy into that logic, the regular airline seat is quite fat phobic. Because realistically, like even me, I'm like a pretty ordinary sized guy. I mean, I'm only going to have like a couple inches on each side.
Absolutely.
Like, you come in at 350, I mean, it's got to be tough.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, it actually is fat phobic, dude. And they fucking, those peanuts, they fucking throw at you like, hey,
Bro, if Poetic Flacco
pig.
walks in and wants to sit next to you on the plane,
he's not getting in, dude. Poetic Flacco is, I love Poetic Flacco, but when I was talking about like the weight loss regimen and you raising these kids like good orphans, Poetic Flacco is the guy I was thinking about.
I'm failing as a father in his case, yeah.
Dude, you're fucking right though. The fat activist, we should bring him in here. Though if you want to convert the office to an orphanage and you get your trough instated, we might not be able to get him to sit on the couch at any point.
Like, what do you think we would have to do to get two like really, really sensitive fat activists to come in here?
That's the thing, dude. Is I can't imagine they have enough conviction in their arguments to actually like have a logical conversation about anything.
You're making me realize why you do what you do. Well, you have to like just show up at the place and just start interviewing people and hope that they don't realize that you hate them and are bigoted towards them until quite some time later.
The guerrilla journalism. Yeah, I mean, we're not bigoted toward them. We make fun of, easy to make fun of liberals. We've gone to the most like liberal locations a couple times to lightheartedly poke fun at people.
Right.
If they're cool, we always end up being cool to them too. It's the people who don't have a sense of humor on camera who end up coming off the worst.
Oh, no,
because then we just quadruple down.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think I wrote down a topic. Are we done talking about the gays?
The Leather Pride Parade? Yeah, it's canceled because of the rain in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And one of the observations I wanted to make on it too is just that like if leather is a subculture of gay, like we should start like snow parka sub community.
Oh, yeah, North Face heterosexuals.
Well, I wanted us to be gay.
Like another gay category. Yeah, but we could have like heterosexual categories as well.
Like we just get pussy in jackets.
Yeah, we wear North Face and we get pussy. I mean, that's what like a chav is. Is basically like a regular guy in England, except he wears an Adidas tracksuit.
They really have a thing. They have a name for people who wear Adidas.
Well, not specifically. Really, you could be wearing almost anything, but it's like it's just not exclusive to that. Like, what was the last great white social movement? I'm going to tell you. I think it was Jersey Shore and their ilk.
Wow.
The EDM world.
Wow.
That was the last blast of white culture being mainstream.
Oh, EDM was so white.
And
dude.
I hated it more than anything in the
me
entire
too.
world. There's somebody right now writing a comment saying, "Oh, actually, the black trans community was very involved in EDM."
Actually, in the early 90s in Belgium, there was a producer called Sticky B, and he
You know that's a new
crab
thing.
scratched on
That's a new thing that they do, and I wish I could remember the exact example. But they'll say like, well, actually, a lot of people think that white men were the ones who really pioneered the punk rock community. Well, here's a black woman who put out one record in 1987 that like did not get any kind of critical acclaim, but I'm going to use this as proof that like everybody, all these different marginalized groups were involved in the creation of the genre. It's like, can't you just admit that that's not really how it went down?
yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, dude, where's this going to end up? You got to share your news article, but just what, like, it's good to the point now. That's one of the things they said in the Armie Hammer documentary is that Hollywood is very skittish about employing anybody who has any sort of dirt on them whatsoever. And that just made me think, like, dude, everybody in this room, especially Josh, has dirt on them.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has done something that if it were brought up in a courtroom in transcript form would look awful and would get you kicked out of the kingdom of Hollywood.
That's why, and I've said that I think that we need to start a separate colony for all the canceled people to go to, but really maybe that already exists and it's no jumper. Like maybe that should be the focus of the brand is to basically bring in as many canceled people as possible, grant them a new lease on life.
Yeah.
I mean, hey.
Convert them to Mormonism.
But who else should we get? Because there's a lot. If you really want to get down to it, all the people who've been eliminated from public life. Who's the guy from fucking? What's the guy from Netflix? He was like the president or something.
Oh, not Chris D'Elia.
Kevin Spacey.
Oh, okay, yeah, like House of Cards guy.
There's a lot of guys out there.
Yeah, I think
I want to bring them all in.
I think Kevin Spacey's in charge of new hires. He's the hiring manager, and his cubicle, we put butcher paper up on the glass.
He's got a lot to offer.
He's got a lot of talent.
And if he wants to molest a 14-year-old boy on my dime,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like there should be some sort of non-disclosure agreement that would protect me legally from the consequences of that.
I already signed an NDA walking in the door when Tone frisked me. Dude, I don't have a gun on me,
I'm
and if I
surprised you
get
didn't
raped,
have to do it before.
well, Tone took one look at me. It was like, you don't have a fucking gun on you. I actually cracked wise that I did have a gun today when I walked in, and he was like, "Oh shit, you for real?" And
Well, your pants are so tight that it's like it would be hard to get away with having a gun on you.
I know.
Those are little mini. Anyway, my thought, this is literally the only thing that I wrote down in preparation for this. I know you have multiple other topics, but I was hearing the discourse happening about the Black Little Mermaid, and I think that I don't care about that at all, to be totally honest. I don't even really understand the conversation, or like, is it a live action
Sure,
thing?
yeah.
It is, right? Okay. Well, but I was thinking, I think this is actually a great idea. And I think that one thing that we should maybe do is that we should take some classic black movies and remake them with white people in them.
Yes,
like
Glory.
What is that?
It's the slave movie with Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
And there's a
I
scene.
wasn't going to go all the way there with that, but all right.
No, I think it'd be great.
What is the alternate universe version of that?
Well, the Civil War is fought by all black people who were trying to make whites pick cotton, and you and I are the heads of the only white fighting regiment. And you get out of line. You get a little uppity one day, Adam, and you get fastened to a tree and flogged.
Right.
Can you cry on command?
Yes.
You're perfect.
Done it hundreds of times on this podcast. No, you kind of like beat me to the punch there, because I was going to say like, oh, we could remake Boys in the Hood, and we'll just be a bunch of cool white guys hanging out.
That sounds awesome.
But that's kind of like, in comparison to the slavery one, I don't know if I can really dig into that too much.
Yeah,
but
I fucked up. I went too hard
no,
too,
it's just
too quickly.
I like that. But
usually there's got to be an escalation in comedy, and I just went right for like the rape joke, basically.
no, because when I thought about it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to say roots. Like as I was thinking this in my head live on the podcast, and I'm like, wait, no, I'm going to start out a little lighter. I'm going to start with like Driving Miss Daisy.
That's the way to fucking be. Is that Morgan Freeman driving Miss Daisy? What am I thinking?
I don't know. Maybe we could like remake the No Jumper show with like a black guy and two white guys. Oh, maybe I could be one of the white guys.
Just change the ratio a little bit?
No, wait. Maybe I could. Wait. Yeah, 2 white guys. Oh, so I could be. Yeah.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
It's hard to think, dude. It's been a long day. You know, I went to this great animal place. What was it called? The Wildlife Conservatoryism. Yep, I nailed it.
It's conservatoryism.
Oh man, bro, I seen a lemur right in my fucking face. All kinds of sloths, porcupines.
Why is this becoming sexual the way you're
parrots.
describing it?
Because that's how I felt.
I had a lemur right in my face.
I did. I had a lemur.
You had a lemur right. It was fucking hard.
I had a lemur breathing down my throat.
Why were they so close to you? Isn't there glass?
No.
Aren't
Like,
there?
they were kind of like cages and stuff, but you could like walk up to a lot of them and touch them and stuff. You know, one thing I realized, I hate animals, and it's only because they smell bad.
Okay, so you didn't have such a good time
I
with the
had all right
wildlife
time, but it smells
conservatism.
bad. Like, why can't you just pump Axe body spray into the room so that I don't have to deal with this fucking shit smell everywhere?
Because it's full of propellants and chemicals that'll hurt them.
To me,
it's a
the fact
fragile
that
ecosystem.
animals smell so bad is almost an argument in favor of them not existing.
Well, they don't have indoor plumbing. What do you want them to do, Adam?
Really, a lot of things like that. You go to the desert, you go to like out into the jungle. It's hot as fuck. Like, this shouldn't exist.
Yeah, well, that's their natural habitat, okay? They don't have planes and automobiles to take them somewhere
I
cooler.
don't want anything to do with it.
So just because these animals are living out their life in the rainforest, do you think they should be exterminated?
I at least think we should think about it.
And you had the balls to. First of all, why were you mean mugging a lemur on your weekend off?
Because he stunk.
I thought you were doing research. Oh, because he stinks, so you get up in his face?
No, what was my research?
Apparently, what a lemur's irises look like.
My research was 30 minutes of the Babylon Bee on Joe Rogan. Wasn't wild. No, I almost, because I looked at it and I saw Joe Rogan interviews Demi Lovato, and then I realized that I hadn't reset my computer or refreshed Spotify in like a year, so that was still showing up as the most recent episode. And then I realized that, oh, actually, that was like a long time ago.
Babylon Bee guy's been on.
Yeah.
So the Mermaid, I forget if we're still on this topic or you're talking about animals.
Talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, the Mermaid. We were talking about the new Lord of the Rings too,
Or,
which is
no,
sort of
I don't know anything about that. I'm watching Game of Thrones.
it's similar controversy.
Did I say Lord of the Rings?
You said
What?
you
There's
didn't
not enough
mention it.
black people in the fucking made up land that they created?
Yes, so they add them in. And my take is, dude, like obviously no problem with minorities in anything. Like, I mean, how many movies did you and I watch and love in the 90s and 2000s that had black stars that were
Right.
ultra movie stars? The problem is when somebody in Hollywood who you know was at one of Epstein's ballrooms or maybe even went out to the island, when they pat themselves on the back because they've inserted a black character into a traditionally white role,
Right.
that feels smug and hypocritical. And especially if the writing, you can tell that they idealize the character because the character is a woman or a minority.
Right.
That can come off a little bit like condescending to the audience.
A lot of shows, and I wish that I had been keeping track of examples of shows that I've seen this happen in, because then it would probably make my argument a lot more compelling. But I noticed in a lot of shows that it's like the show will just be proceeding, and then at some point, a black woman shows up within the show, and she's just like the best person ever.
Yeah.
She's got all the answers.
Yeah.
And she just fixes everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, the fact that that is the role that black women are being given so often, it seems like kind of like an overcorrection.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is almost like just like bizarre that you're like putting them into this, like they have to play this specific, really morally virtuous situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's tough. And I mean, what's the hallmark of good characters in drama? It's
Yeah,
that
they have to be complicated.
They have flaws. Like
Yeah.
they cheat on their wife. They go to strip clubs. They kill people. They have a rage problem. One of my favorite movies is L.A. Confidential. And Russell Crowe ends up in one scene, the hero ends up decking a chick in the face in it.
Right.
Because he saw his mom get beat to death when he was a kid, and he has anger problems, and eventually that boils over.
Right.
But now with woke Hollywood, there are characters where they're just, like you said, this person is an angel with a 180 IQ, a huge cock who makes all the money, and the white people and the dudes are dogs.
All right. It's so hard being us, isn't it?
Yeah, we're pretty
I
badass,
hate
actually.
it. I hate being white.
It's got its perks, dude. I mean,
Does it?
dude,
I'm just kidding. I don't hate it.
It's being white, dude. It's all good for me, but I got like the worst parts about being white.
The little dick.
Little dick, flat Irish ass.
You have no ass?
I got no ass,
You
dude.
got BBL.
I can talk to Kazumi about it.
You could, yeah. I don't know if you should go as big as her, but We know some guys who allegedly had fat taken out of their stomach and put into their ass.
That is unacceptable.
Why didn't you come to the gym on Sunday?
Because it was my day off. Can't you hear my voice? It's strained.
You can't work out on your day
so
off?
hard.
That's what I would do. What do? You lay in bed?
On Sundays?
Yeah.
I watch Armie Hammer documentaries.
Is that what you did most of the days?
That's what I did yesterday. What else did I do yesterday? I don't know.
At least you said that you weren't going to come. Well, I guess you actually kind of said maybe. But Duno said he was going to come and then got drunk and didn't show up.
I'm a professional. I hint limply that I might or might not be there.
But I respect that so much more. Somebody who will actually say, no, I'm not coming, rather than Duno. See, I texted in the group chat too. I said, hey, if you guys don't show up, I might never talk to you again. Because if I end up at a fucking gym at 10 o'clock in the morning with my girl and my kid and a cameraman and a significant percentage of the people who are supposed to be in this vlog with me don't show up, I don't know if I'm going to be able to live with the amount of rage that I'm going to feel towards you guys, because that would annoy me so bad. But, you know, like Duno, he really doesn't give a fuck about my time or what I'm doing at all. He thinks it's okay to FaceTime in the middle of it and just sort of let me know, oh, it's so cute, I didn't show up to the gym, ha ha ha. It's like, no, Duno,
cool.
I hate you.
I'm trying to carry a vlog with a newborn baby, asshole.
Yeah, no,
they're not good improv partners.
I'm having to make Parker work out in the vlog. Now I'm basically like a stage dad.
Yeah. The labor unions are going to come after you. There are going to be issues now.
As they should.
How would that go, actually, that Bradley Martin workout session?
That was hilarious. Flacco is just the funniest fucking person ever.
Flacco's the man, dude.
Flacco deadlifted 315 pounds. He's never worked out before.
I feel like that's dangerous, potentially, for the spine.
Yeah, no, he said it afterwards. He puked and fell asleep for 10 hours.
That seems like an overreaction to deadlifting.
Yeah, 315 is like crazy. Like, that's a lot. And I kind of feel like Flacco has this thing he does where he like brings out this like superpower from within when he wants to like prove that he's good at a sport, because he raced Gina, which on paper, she's like a 100-pound girl.
She looks athletic, though.
She looks like she could probably run. She was barefoot, which is probably not good, but Flacco somehow beat her in a race and caused her to collapse on the floor in a pile of dust. And he somehow beat her. I'm saying, I think he's capable of summoning extreme strength.
Yeah, Flacco, he's a little small. He's a little undersized. He's got the body of an offensive lineman.
No, yeah, I think he's a technical midget. I think he's 5'1".
Flacco?
Yeah.
I think it's a funny dude, though. You got an eye for talent picking out Flacco.
You think?
And I'm biased because he's called me more than once the greatest white man on the planet.
He's such a dick rider. It's crazy.
He loves edgy white boys.
He told AD that he's the West Coast Drake. He told me I have the biggest white dick on earth.
You have a big white cock, dude.
Thanks.
You have a big white cock. It's good.
It's gad.
But it's a good cock, dude.
It's gad.
It's
like
good.
gad.
I didn't say it like that. You're going to have to take that back.
You don't have to tell me my cock's doing good. My cock is it's fine. No, but you want to know what's fucked up? Me and my girl 6'9" the other day, and then she got pink eye.
Dude, you've been having some ass problems lately.
Yeah.
You gave your girlfriend pink eye?
Well, I mean, I don't
Do you
think
not
I
wipe,
gave
you
it to
fucking
her.
animal?
I mean,
you have the nerve to talk shit on the lemurs?
Maybe I forgot that day.
To wipe your ass?
I don't know how she got pink eye. We fucked like 2 other girls that day too. We did 2 plug talk scenes that day, and then we 6'9", or maybe it was like the next day.
Did you have sex anally with the 2 girls?
No, but you know, we're always kind of mashing our faces on the girls' asses and pussies and whatnot. You know?
Yeah. That's really, you lucked out, because I'm pretty sure, as I think most of the audience will be, that actually you gave your girlfriend pink eye, your wife pink eye, sorry.
No.
But,
fiance.
Excuse me.
Somewhere in the middle.
I think we all know it's you, but now you have this convenient out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not like against that.
Giving your fiance pink eye?
I'm not against the idea that I may have given her pink eye, but I don't think that I necessarily did, but maybe I did.
You know,
how do you give someone pink eye?
I got the situation
You
right
just have a dirty butt?
I think so. It's kind of a mysterious condition, but right now, my cock has been really chafed. And it's so chafed, especially relative to how much I've been beating off, which is not very much, that I'm worried I've developed jock itch from wearing a jock strap when I train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
You still do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I still wear a jock strap, or I still train Brazilian
Jiu-Jitsu.
I'm working toward that black belt, Adam.
But aren't you like blue belt, purple belt?
I'm a purple belt.
Nice.
And I've been a purple belt for a
How many times do you do it per week?
3 on a good week. But since I actually have a fucking...
2 hours per class?
About an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I've got a case of jock itch right now, I think, maybe. And
I've had it.
I'm worried that I've got like a fungal thing on my cock. And I fucked my girlfriend up the ass. And I just thought, where's the worst place to have fungus?
Right.
Deep inside of your rectum.
Right. You know what you actually need to do is you need to add more fungus to her ass. So I think you need to actually go to the grocery store and buy some mushrooms.
Some shiitakes?
Chop them up real fine.
Ooh.
And then drizzle them into her asshole using like a funnel.
Yeah. Just, I mean, that
It's an
sounds
old
like...
home remedy that my mom passed down.
I'm getting hungry. Oh, is that good? What's your background? Are you Polish?
French Canadian.
French Canadian. Okay,
Yeah.
something from the old country, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, some shiitakes in there with jock itch.
I don't know if I've ever heard of like jock itch in an asshole. And can you pass it on? I think it's like your own personal thing. I don't think I'm like swapping jock itch with someone.
Yeah, if only.
We should do some Googling.
If
work.
only jock itch were like Pokemon cards. But I think the pink eye situation that you got yourself into there, I do think I could get myself out of that.
Right.
But jock itch up the asshole would be a little harder to explain.
Right. I think the thing is that pink is a beautiful color. And a
cute.
lot of girls go to the mall, they go to the Sephora, they go to the Mac, they buy eyeshadow.
Yeah.
I mean, what color are they getting? A lot of times they're getting pink.
They're getting pink.
So it's like, is pink eye really the worst thing in the world? I think
it's
having a
not.
pink eye, a lot of people are spending good money to have pink eyes.
I mean, what's cuter than a Tesla Model 3 with a pink wrap?
how many James Charles videos have I watched in which he basically used makeup that cost good amounts of money to spread pink eyeshadow all over his fucking eyes?
Oh, I get what you're talking literally pink eye.
I'm saying pink eye makes your eyes pinker.
You saved her a trip to Mac.
That's how I think of it.
She doesn't have to put on eye makeup for at least the next week here.
No, it does kind of fuck you up though because it gets all infected and swollen. It's not just a pink eye.
Okay. But I mean, also chicks, like my girlfriend puts on that rattlesnake venom stuff on her lips to make her lips bigger.
Oh.
So swelling's part of the beauty equation.
And then you
too.
go to give her a little kiss and it fucking feels so weird on your
You know
lips.
how it goes.
Yes.
You know how it goes.
I hate that.
You know, I think we are sticking it to the man by rubbing our dirty asses in our significant other's faces.
That's what I'm saying, really. Like, I feel like that's actually a big part of dating me.
Is getting swollen pink eyes.
It's just like the only thing that I want to bring into your life. I don't want to bring you security. I don't want to bring you financial status, celebrity, followers, anything like that. I want to bring you diseases associated with the filthiness of my asshole.
You're in the right business. Also, dude, my chick is like getting pretty close to going over and being an OnlyFans chick. It's getting closer every day.
Should have her on Plug Talk.
I don't like the sound of that. Wait a second here. Who's doing the fucking? Because I realize sometimes you guys bring in some male talent. Don't throw your arms up
I'm
like you
not
don't
gonna do that. I
know.
don't want to do that. No,
Dude,
that's all you.
if I get in there, I mean, your faith in my talent or my ability as a porn star seemed rattled last episode. But, I mean, she's getting pretty close, dude.
I have the perfect person for her to film content with.
Oh, Dread?
Spoiler: he's really good at powerlifting, and he has been basically kicked off of a porn set in the past.
James Dean?
His name is Swoleby.
Swoleby One Kenobi?
You were trying to think of an actual famous person and not one of your underlings.
Swoleby One Kenobi. We filmed with him this weekend. Have we talked about that?
Probably, maybe not in a year. Maybe
we
that
did.
one night with Flacco. And
Yeah, we
shit.
definitely did. We definitely did. Swoleby One Kenobi, absolutely. I could watch him have sex with my girlfriend with very little jealousy.
Because his dick is so small.
Exactly,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, is that for you too? Like, if you had to watch Lena have sex with another guy, wouldn't it come down to dick size, just like the prime enrager?
It's such a good question because it's like, if I was gonna see her get fucked, I think I would probably want to see her get fucked with a big dick. Just because, like, when I watch porn, I watch girls get fucked with big dicks for the most part, right?
I don't think you mean that though.
If I was to watch her get fucked by Swoleby's little tiny ass infected penis, I would just be like sad and depressed. I'm trying to think of like which option would make me want to leave her more. I feel like the Swoleby thing has to be it.
Do we know his
Dread or
penis-
Swoleby?
Swoleby, I want to put this on the record. He did get tested through the PASS system, and his penis was not infected. He had an open sore on his lip, which indicates oral herpes, HSV1.
Janet, I'm like, how is this a clarification?
I misspoke. We're recording a late episode, so I don't want my crew member to be slandered in that fashion.
Right, okay.
I think you are a liar and a piece of shit, though, if you're really going to sit here and say that you would rather have Lexington Steele fuck your girlfriend versus Swoleby One Kenobi.
But it's like, if I'm gonna watch somebody do it, I would probably rather watch somebody do it right than fuck it up.
Oh, yeah, her pleasure is going to be your primary concern?
It's just like, if there's a job to be done, I don't want to send a fucking complete piece of fucking shit like Swoleby in there.
You are he's a complete piece of shit.
I mean,
now.
you know,
You are
as a sex partner, yes.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
He
one
is
for sure.
as if he was if he was a piece of shit, he would be white, crusted dog shit on the sidewalk.
I will give you that as a lover, Swoleby is feces.
Right.
I will give you that. But I like that you're such a stickler for professionalism. I've heard stories of you shifting people around the office to different roles because they couldn't cut an Instagram clip properly. If the GIMP doesn't do his job, I'm sure you throw him out on his ass too. I love that it comes down to you want to watch your girlfriend, fiance, get pounded by a massive cocked stud simply because your appreciation for the male porn star role.
Or it's really just like anything but Swoleby.
I'm sorry, Swoleby. I'm going to bat for you here, dude. I'm going to bat. We had an episode on our podcast where you just already laid into him face to face. So it's not like you're a coward about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like something where I feel like I'm misrepresenting my opinion for jokes. I really think he does a horrific cock. It's the kind of cock that should be banned from the free world.
Oh, dude, that's been an issue of mine lately, dude. It's like everybody I've been talking to just has a big fucking cock. And I'm starting to feel left out, dude.
Really?
Like, it used to be that big cocks were a rarity, like a holographic Charizard when you were in 4th grade. But we had a podcast today, and we brought in an Armenian rapper. Excuse me, he's Romanian or something. We had some other dude who was on the couch, and we went around the room, and I realized I was taking mental stock that every single one of them, either by my own eyesight verifying or an anecdote that was shared, every single one of them had a giant penis.
Really?
And I'm the lone ranger in the room with like a 5 or 6 inch rod.
Right.
And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this used to be average.
Get that? Yeah, this used to be average before you moved to L.A.
God damn it,
Sack
dude.
dicks hit a little different.
Dude.
But no, I think actually we should probably get you that surgery for an episode. Like pull your dick out of your body.
Will they cut the ligament?
We'll give you an extra like 1.5 inches.
What are you going to pay me to do a surgery like that?
I'm not going to pay you anything.
Are you going to compensate the cost of the
No,
medical
I'm just going
bills?
to encourage you to do it out of the goodness of my heart.
I got to pull $6,000 out of my own
It's
pocket
probably so much more than that.
to get my penis yanked on.
I'm assuming it's like way more expensive than that.
$6,000?
I'm assuming it's a very invasive surgery.
That's true. That's
going
true.
into your body and cutting shit. I don't know.
It's probably really easy, but if the guy trembles even a little bit,
If we get it
Even
done
a
in
little bit.
Honduras, maybe.
you want the place with the highest murder rate in the world is
Or
where
just
you're going to try to
anywhere.
tell me to get my cock snipped?
Tijuana. There's got to be some guy
Tijuana.
doing it in the back of an auto body shop that will take care of us.
Do you want me to become a eunuch?
I really don't feel like I have a lot of skin in that game.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. Honduras and Tijuana, you fuck.
Does that
How about
fuck you up?
Switzerland or Germany?
Does that fuck you up that I have so little concern for what happens to your cock?
It does, actually. As a co-host, do you think we would be... You know, I was watching football this weekend. There was a big fight in the Saints-Tampa Bay game. Tom Brady started jawing with the defender, and one of Tom Brady's teammates just ran up and leveled the guy. No questions asked.
Wow.
No questions asked. And you telling me I should go to the Mexican border to get my penis operated on for a discount shows a marked lack of concern.
Well, that's fair. The last thing I want to talk about is just the fact that I watched a Vice documentary the other day about this new type of weed that apparently MS-13, and it's kind of weird to be on a podcast where I can just state the name MS-13 and not have somebody to tell me not to say that. But they're, famous Mexican gang or whatever, and they fucking came up with a new type of weed that has... Okay, so they tested it and they couldn't find any evidence of it actually having meth in it. But everybody who does it basically reports like meth-like symptoms. And I guess MS-13 is the only ones who have it, and nobody else is allowed to sell it. And if anybody else sells it, then they're going to kill them. So they have like their own weed that apparently like really fucks you up and kills you out there. But it's like meth weed.
Yeah.
So and they're marketing and they have like a name for it and everything. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, this was something that I kind of wanted to talk about too. Then with our current events that we're trying to stay on top of now, is the legalization of weed in California has made for so many sketchy little sub-markets.
Right.
Like the equivalent, I guess, to being a leather gay is to having meth weed.
Right.
And also,
But I don't think the meth weed is made to America yet, so we got a little bit of time. But it's coming.
I'm
I
licking
mean,
my
why?
chops,
Why,
dude.
why would there's got to be some ingenious person who's gonna figure out a way to get it into our hands.
I mean, next week's episode, you and I are going to be really high on this podcast, so let's hope it hits our shores before then.
I'm honestly not against that at all. I would try it.
But dude,
I went to China. I tried to do heroin. They wouldn't let me.
did you actually?
I was down. I'm like, they have famous heroin here. Like, if somebody can get me some good shit, I'm down to fucking. I've had a needle in my arm many times. I give blood and shit. Why not?
I would say maybe go to Amsterdam again. Like,
You think I good H?
this is actually making me feel better. Like that. Maybe you weren't malicious wanting to send me to Honduras to get my penis operated
Would
on.
you I would trust an Asian person to give me heroin. They seem like they're very healthy people.
Yeah, no, I absolutely have a bias toward Asians.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you go up to maybe Amsterdam, I feel like that's the place to go. Like if I just got $3,000 to spend on a plane ticket and I want to do some smack, I'm going to Amsterdam, dude.
Yeah.
You just ask a guy who looks like he's in a grunge band, and he'll show you where to get it.
I want to go bang hookers there.
In Amsterdam?
Well, if I can get some permission from my girl, sure. I feel like it's cool because you get to like walk on the street and you see them inside these glass booths.
You think she'd give you permission to do something like that?
We could probably do better than fucking street prostitutes for $50.
Well, they're in a window. They're not street
I
prostitutes.
know, but it's still kind of grimy, I think.
No.
I don't want to fuck a girl who does this 20 times a day for a living.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to say, unlike the lemurs, they have indoor plumbing, but they might also have pink eye. So these are issues too. Yeah.
So if this episode were to be symbolized by something, it would be what, like a lemur with pink eyes selling its pussy for $500,
Or a small cock.
$50,
Or he's got a small dick.
tiny dick, and he's wearing the wrestling singlet like Swoleby.
Yeah, absolutely. With a little slit
With
in
a
it.
bunch of medals on.
Isn't it a disgrace that nobody else is going to be able to see that? Dude,
Think about the fact that our sound guy tried to clip a mic to one of his wrestling medals. Or no, his powerlifting medals.
Dude,
and it sounded terrible.
This is really a shame, I think, what's happening. Like, I think it's akin to, like, if when Linkin Park was trying to record the hybrid theory, there was a gas leak in the studio and everybody died. They were fusing rap and rock. I mean, we were fusing comedy and porn, and nobody's going to be able to see it because Swoleby could not fucking perform.
Wait a minute. Everybody in Lincoln Park died from a gas leak?
No, I was saying if that happened, it would be the medley of rap and rock that we've come to love. The world would have been deprived of it. In the world right now, dude, fucking comedy porn would be huge.
Yeah.
But Swoleby couldn't keep his fucking thumb out of an asshole.
A lot of us have that problem. But one thing that I will say is that doing porn, you enter into this like alter ego character where you're like horny as fuck, and that's the only perspective, the only attitude, the only mentality that you're allowed to have is just that you're horny. So then sometimes, we'll be shooting and it'll be like, I'll go to like put my foot up on a fucking couch and it'll slip and I'm like, and it's like, it's so obvious to everybody that this is a cut, that this is going to get cut out because you can't be someone experiencing pain on the porn set or something will happen. That's why I've gotten mad at my girl before and had to be kind of nice about it because this isn't something you want to be aggressive about. But like, if I come in your eye, you got to play it off like it's hot. Like 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't like immediately switch into like, you can't laugh. You can't like act like you care about having to come in your eye. The gaze through which porn is filmed is such that like anything that happens to you is hot.
Yes.
You fall off the bed and crack your skull open. You got to be like,
Yeah. And how fucking frustrating is it too that like they ruin the cum shot? Like there's no doctoring a fucking, you came in my eye, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. Oh, you can stunt cock it.
Yeah.
I guess you can come in and stunt cock it like 5 minutes later.
There are ways that we fake this stuff, but I haven't really had to do it, so I've been pretty lucky.
I can stunt cock for you sometime.
Oh, I'd love that.